Hi, welcome to another episode of Lambo Talks. In this episode, I'll be covering comic books. Specifically, I'll be covering current creators I'm into. I'll name them now and then name them again as I present their work. So these creators are Peter Tomasi, writer, Dan Mora, penciler, Peach Momoko, variant cover artist, Clayman, penciler, Stellato, variant cover artist, Alex Garner, cover artist, Bruno Redondo, artist and writer Tom Taylor on their run in Nightwing. And lastly, Berhamo, cover artist for Batman and Detective. Okay, so outside of the obvious Tom King, Scott Snyder, and Greg Capullo, who are now established, I will talk about these creators because, in some sense, although they might not be new to the industry, they're new to me, and I did want to showcase their work. So let's get started with Peter Tomasi. So Peter Tomasi appealed to me early on with his run on Super Sons because it's not only is it lighthearted, but he's a really good writer in the sense that he can detach himself and write the way Damian Wayne, the now Robin, would speak, and John Kent, Superboy at that time, now Superman, would talk, and you would have, I would read Damian being very assertive, very confident, less so John Kent, which fit them as a duo. Together they formed a really good partnership. So with that said, I will show you some of Tomasi's works in Super Sons and Superman. So here is a Superman Tomasi comic book. Here's the first issue he did for Superman that he wrote. Here's the first annual of the, I believe, is it the annual? No, it's actually the first issue. First issue of Super Sons. Here is a Superman issue that has a lot of historical references as they take a trip to Washington, D.C., and me being the historian, I really love this issue, and I really sought to have him sign this issue. There we go. Here is the Super Sons #1 annual, and as you can see, each one has their own dog, and it's just a great cover and also a great story. So I believe I'm finished with Tomasi. I'm now going to move on to the penciler Dan Mora, and second. So with regards to the penciler, Dan Mora, he what first appealed to me about his art was this one cover he did for Detective Comic books, and it to me it was so it's a very intense cover, and although it didn't necessarily have to do much with the plot, just the cover itself demonstrated to me the kind of talent he has. And this was during COVID, so not only did I buy the issue, I looked for a CGC graded comic of that same issue, just because I thought, with in time of COVID, I probably would never get a chance to meet him. And so this is the cover. Sorry about that. This is the cover. And to me, the attraction to it is, again, the look of desperation of Bruce Wayne, Batman, and also the detail he puts in the background. Again, like a good artist like Capullo, you don't put all of your effort in drawing a great character in a great scene, but put the effort into the setting in which the character is in. So Dan Mora is new to me, but he's not necessarily new to the industry. And so I did want to show one work I do have that he did prior to this. He's probably done others, but it's one I have and I do know about, which is Klaus, and it's written by Grant Morrison, penciled by Dan Mora. And so I believe that's all I have on Mora. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is Peach Momoko. Sorry about the wiggling. Okay, so Peach Momoko. What drew me to Peach Momoko was covers like this of Black Widow and Daredevil with the minimalist red, white, and black. And I saw that over and over again in these titles of Black Widow and Daredevil, and it really appealed to me. But then I also saw in Momoko a different style, and there is one interview out there where she talked about how she didn't want to be pigeonholed to one type of art, and so from what I saw in the other covers, they kind of have a circular motion. And what I also, it might just be me projecting, but what I also noticed is that in that circular motion of her cover art, it has somewhat of a Taoist symbolism where in that circular motion, the one half of one character is somehow linked, or there are bits and pieces in which the other character presents itself on the side of the other character. So I saw that Momoko was becoming a popular variant cover artist, and I saw what she had done with Daredevil and her other works, the circular motion that I'm talking about, and I felt I was just gonna keep buying cover after cover after cover after cover. Oh, I believe I do have one more cover. Yeah. So like I mentioned, Momoko does specifically with Black Widow and Daredevil a red, white, black minimalist approach, and that's what I loved about it. That's what I first gravitated towards with regards to Momoko. And then when I saw the circular motion that she put in her other art, and kind of how one character would blend into the other, again showing me that kind of Taoist mentality of the yin yang, I thought, okay, I've got to get one work she has made that kind of encompasses Momoko, because she's just getting really popular, and not only that, she's just gonna keep making great cover after great cover after great cover. So what I ended up doing is I looked online for a cover I thought that encompasses her style, and so this one is not a minimalist one but a circular one, and it's signed by her. I looked for a CGC signed, I found one, and I think what I got is, you know, a classic superhero and villain in her style, again showing the yin yang, and in this case it's Batman and Joker. In Detective Comics 1027, it's Batman in one side of the circular motion and Joker in the other, and parts of each other are on the other side of each other. So here it is. I'm gonna move it around so that you can. So there it is. That's that's the work I settled on. I it wasn't cheap, but it also wasn't expensive. Again, because I know she's going to get popular, and I tried to find a work that encompasses her style, signed by her and CGC graded, and basically so that I would stop going for Momoko covers, because they're so good. They're so good. I'm just gonna keep wanting them, and knowing that, that's why I looked for one that I thought encompassed her, signed by her, and it's CGC graded. So with that, let's see, I'll move on to the next artist, which is Clayman. Again, sorry about the shaking. So Clayman, to me, he first started out with Marvel, but I think like many of us, we gravitated towards him when we saw him in the Tom King Batman run. To me, the appeal of Clayman's art is grounded in kind of in proportion. In other words, he doesn't have his style isn't cartoonish. It's not a minimalist. I wouldn't say lifelike, but the one thing I would include is grounded and proportional. So let me show you what I mean by that. And so you can see here, grounded and proportional. Neither, the left and right side of Flash are in proportion. And let me show you again, this will show the proportion side, which is the first issue of Heroes in Crisis. So you can see that it's proportional in terms of Superman being at the center and those around him, being proportional to his surrounding, where you don't get exaggerated characters that might seem either smaller or larger than they need to be. Okay, let's see if I can quickly find more. Oh, right. Okay. For Clayman, I only have one work of his that is signed, which is basically the cover of the first Batman Catwoman issue. Another one, again, emphasizing proportion. And another one is a variant cover of the famous Mazzucchelli. So it's after Mazzucchelli, Batman Year One, but here you have Wonder Woman, and here you have Superman behind him. But again, everything proportional, nothing exaggerated. Muscles aren't exaggerated. People are grounded in the setting that they're placed. And so that's Clayman. The next one is Stellato. He's the Italian cover artist. Sadly, I only could find one of his covers right now. Again, it's July, it's hot, and I'm trying to do service by telling you the creators, their style, and showing you their works as fast as I can, because I don't want for me to end up in this video just like dripping in sweat. So before I present the cover, you might have already seen bits of it. I do know that Stellato is he's an Italian artist. He focuses a lot on Dante's Inferno, and I think that informs his variant covers, because his variant covers tend to have characters that have a determined face, sometimes in agony, but I would say one or the other, either very intense or in agony. I've never seen him. I don't know. I guess make a variant cover in which the characters are happy. Again, I think that derives from his long-standing art on Dante's Inferno. So, with that said, here is one of his variant covers for Daredevil, and like I said, intense, ready for action, ready for action. Okay, and next is Alex Garney. I recently came across him through the new Batman series that has come out. It's going to take me a while to find it. Darn. I know I had it. Yeah, I only have one cover, and that's the cover that drew me to him. But also, Jesus. Again, it's his art is really, really good. Here we go. To the point where, again, like Momoko, I might decide to look for a specific one, and that encompasses Alex Garney, and just stick to that, because I've seen his other work, very appealing, and I don't want to break the bank. So, without further ado, this is the piece I have of Alex Garney. It is Batman 125, a variant cover for the first issue with Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez. So this is his variant cover, and is one of the things that right away I gravitated towards was, if you see this bat, it really looks like it's captured on a photo. It's all proportional, and I'm guessing the medium is digital, but yet it's just he just chooses a great way to draw you in, no pun intended. And so yeah, I have yet to decide on Alex Garney. The next is Bruno Redondo and writer Tom Taylor. And this is on their run of Nightwing. And so one of the things that appeals to me for on this Nightwing run is Tom Taylor's kind of lightheartedness. He has I would say he's really good at, like Tomasi, at balancing both drama and comedy, and not necessarily make it such downer. To me, reading Tomasi work, there's always hope. To me, reading Tom Taylor work, there's always hope. And that's what I like about them as writers, because sometimes you don't want to get bogged down by intense, or at least I don't. I don't necessarily always seek out intense, complex story arcs that are a brain drain, but worth it. Many would probably say Tom King is one of them, where it's great writing, but it's draining on the brain. And like I said, Tomasi and Tom Taylor have this balance that they have where I wouldn't necessarily just brush it as feel-good comics, but they do have the right balance of suspense and comedy that makes you actually participate in what comic books are supposed to do, which is allow you to escape the present, whatever you're going through, and just delve into the story. So with that said, I'm going to try to flip through some of Redondo's. Here's one, for example. Look at the many panels. So what drew me to Redondo was his experimentation. He's done, I believe, an issue that is considered one ongoing panel. Let's see quickly. This is a very emotional scene, but again, like I said, Tom Taylor balances both the drama and with a little lightheartedness. To me, he does this with Nightwing finally having his own dog, as you can see. Not everything is serious. It does get serious, but it always comes back to a kind of balance. There's another experiment of Redondo. He does so many things, and that's again what I'm drawn to Redondo for. Okay, having said that, last but not least, Berhemo does cover variants. He does Detective and Batman. Here's one that I saw it and I felt like I had to have it. He does a lot of covers that are intense with regards to Batman. Not necessarily just intense, but with this kind of sense of determination. And he's done various, but to me, this is my favorite. I'll quickly show you. So you can see that Batman's determined despite the fire behind him. Quickly find the other. I know I have. So here's what I mean by determined. He's his cover art has a good. His style, I would say, is he's very good at balancing black with enough lighting to, direct your attention to where he wants to direct your attention with light. So in this case, that's where he does it with Batman. And I would say, okay, so I think I've reached the end of what I wanted to mention as the current people whose works I look for. Again, if it's rushed, I apologize. But again, it's July, and as you can tell, I don't have the jacket that I normally have for the episodes. It's that hot. So I hope you liked this episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.